it's blowing my mind because it's so simple, and we're not like putting on a big retreat weekend or something, and then that's when we're seeing God move.
And I think we can look at that and go, man, if the creator of the universe, who wrapped himself in flesh, lowered himself down and walked a sinless life, still needed to craft his day like that, that should give us a clue on how we should be crafting our day. Gossip is the demonic twist of the testimony, right? It is the anti-testimony. And so there's like a wrong spirit attached to that. And so it's where something can give life, this takes life. Pharaoh was used by God, but Moses knew God. Saul was used by God, but David knew God. And those are drastically different stories and endings for those people. God does not care what you look like. He cares that you show up.
And everyone else doesn't either.
I would like to start this podcast off by wishing our dear producer and in your case husband a very happy birthday.
Thank you.
Can we get some horns for the birthday boy? That's right. Happy birthday, Lindsay.
Nice.
Couldn't do this podcast without him. Like,
Nope.
not at all.
Not at all.
Like, without him, without
Take
you
you
there looking at us with blank looks and just watching us bicker with each other, and then give the odd smirk when you know something's going to come back up later. We could not do it without that. And so you are the lifeblood of this podcast.
Yes.
So happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
In case you're wondering, I don't know exactly when this is going to get released, but today is January 27th.
Yep.
It's his birthday today. So we're rounding out the end of January already.
February 2nd.
February 2nd.
February 2nd is when it's going to
February
come out?
1st? February 2nd?
February 2nd is a Monday.
February 2nd.
So February 2nd will come
Unless
out.
something goes wrong in the editing.
February
studio.
2nd, we'll be finding out if this terrible winter is going to end in 6 weeks.
Is that Groundhog Day?
Yeah. So it was my grandma's birthday.
We can all agree that's made up though, right?
Edna Halligan was born February 2nd.
But February 2nd is Groundhog's Day?
Yeah.
Okay.
But like we know it's fake.
No. It's very real.
I saw a movie that told me that it's a very real thing. And if you're not careful, you can get stuck
It's true.
in a very miserable way.
That is
But
true. What was it called?
as everybody
what was
knows,
it called?
Groundhog Day.
Oh,
As everybody knows, what you see on TV is very, very true and real.
So
that's
real.
how I live my life. So.
Yeah. But we're at the end of, it's almost the end of January. And it's this is probably the fastest January I think I've ever experienced.
Really?
For me, it seemed fast.
Because
Maybe
January's
not.
do tend to like
Drag.
go long.
Yeah. And I don't know why. I don't think there was anything particularly different about this January that makes it seem like it went by faster, but
All the shoveling.
I didn't.
I did a fair amount of shoveling, but I have a snowblower, which
All the
kinda
snow
helps.
blowing.
Yes, all the
Same
snow.
thing. Same thing.
There was a lot
You still have
of
to
snow.
push.
Yeah, like in front of my house, I have to shovel. I can't get the snowblower up there.
And your driveway's huge.
But with a snowblower, you don't push. Well, most of them are self-propelled. You just push the button and walk behind it. So that's
Like a lawnmower.
well, not all lawnmowers.
It's like our lawnmower is supposed to be, but that mechanism is
Wait,
broken.
hold on. So you have a really heavy self-propelled lawnmower that you push?
Yes. It is the worst.
I bet.
Luckily, our yard isn't huge, so
Well, good news.
it only takes 10 minutes.
We're only like 4 or 5 months away from mowing the lawn.
Woohoo.
So that'll be nice when that happens.
That sounds like so long. Like that's like half a year. 4 or 5 months.
Well, I mean,
February, March, April.
May is when the grass will start growing.
Yeah.
It'll start
Holy
growing around May.
smokes,
You may
that's
not
depressing.
have to mow until June.
Yeah.
Like I don't think I mowed my lawn until July last year. It came
'Cause it was
really
so
late.
dry.
It took so long for it to grow. And even then I hop on my riding lawnmower because I have an acre. So I've got a lot to mow. I have a riding lawnmower and it takes me an hour to ride and cut my lawn.
Really?
Yeah. By the time I get it all done, then you do the push around like certain parts of trees and bushes that you can't get into.
And you have like ditches.
And the ditches you cannot
Yeah,
ride.
that's super annoying.
So, but I'm excited. I can't wait. Bring on lawnmower.
Well-
Bring on the sun.
100%.
Yeah.
See you later, snow. I'm so done with it.
Yeah.
Here we go.
This has been since the beginning of November. We had snowstorm. Like we've been having snow since the beginning of November.
What a ride.
Yeah, we had it really early.
Really early.
And it doesn't seem like it's going to let up anytime soon. So,
No. Nope. Well, that's our happy joy.
yep. January has been nothing but smiles. Let me tell you. Like, but no, in all seriousness though, like
It has been a good January.
it has been a very good January, despite some crazy weather. It has seemed like, and maybe that's why it seems like it's gone by. A lot of times in January can seem like dark and depressing,
Which it has.
And it can. But there's
not
been a lot of like
completely.
life-giving moments
Yes.
in this month that maybe that's what's making it feel like it's moving a little quicker. And so kind of what we're talking about was we have just come off of a season where we had invited our church into what we called a soul fast. And really what it was abstaining from media, abstaining from screens, abstaining from social media. So whether that's watching movies or TV or whatever, that we were just going to push the world out.
Yeah.
We invited them into a food fast for those who were able and wanted to like participate in an actual fast, because saying no to things that isn't food isn't technically a fast, but there is a cleansing that you can do with that. And so we did that, and it all kind of culminated on an encounter weekend where we got a ton of snow. And you know what's funny is the forecast indicated that we weren't going to get as much, and you guys were going to get blasted, and then it kind of eased up in Oshawa, and we got blasted.
Yeah.
So the weatherman, only person who gets paid to be wrong most of the time. But yeah, so we had this encounter weekend and just beautiful times. But as much as I think we thought the encounter weekend was going to be the hurrah, it seemed to be that the week leading up to it was a lot of the really beautiful things took place as a result of what we were doing. Because when the body of Christ sets itself apart, like actually, you know, does the be holy as I am holy, God responds. He responds to that. And so we had some amazing things happen during that week. And what I'm learning is that in our intentionality, our planning and our intentionality leads us into the moments where God gets drawn close. I think there's this idea that God prefers the fly by the seat of the pants. He prefers like the flowing. He prefers the
Random.
Like, oh, I'm just going to go with the flow. But, you know, we had to plan in order to pull off some of those things. Like we did prayer 3 times a day for a week. And so Justine led a 6 to 7 a.m. prayer meeting every day leading up from Monday to Saturday. And then I led the 12 to 1. And then Mauricio led our Spanish portion of the church. And everybody was invited, but it was going to be done in Spanish from 8 to 9 o'clock at night. And just amazing things took place. I mean, you've got some of the testimonies kind of locked and loaded in your head.
We had, first I just want to say like, we thought it was all for the encounter weekend, like all for the encounter Sunday. We were going to see people like change. And then we had all this snow, and it's sort of like now in reverse reflection, we see that, okay, it wasn't obviously for the encounter Sunday. It was, but then it got canceled the Sunday night. So then though we were able to see that like, oh, it was actually like a whole encounter week, because in our daily life, we gave up the things, right? And we committed to meeting with Jesus. And like for our 6 to 7 call was the most popular, which blew my mind, because I am not a morning person. And the week before we talked about this idea of having Zoom prayer. And we're like, who's going to run the 6 to 7? Chris does wake up early, but at that time he's getting ready to get out the door with his family, because he lives a little further away from town. So I was like, well, not me. I don't wake up that early. And then I went to the bathroom, I came back, and I was like, okay, I'll do it. I feel like God wants me to do it. And that's when we had the most people on, and it was so refreshing, so like warm-hearted, just like a quiet time with the Lord, which sounds confusing because there was many people. But when you're listening to one person pray at a time because everyone else is muted, it's very like, just like quiet and focused and just like really beautiful. But you wouldn't expect like things to happen during like a quiet simple prayer time via Zoom. And I think it was on the Tuesday when she's around 19, I think. She received the gift of speaking in tongues. God asked her to step away from the Zoom call. Her mom was still in it, but she stepped away in the same room and started praying, and she just started speaking in tongues.
So
and
good.
then on the Thursday, one person felt like we needed to pray in the Spirit, and when we started praying in the Spirit, an older gentleman who has been asking for the gift of tongues, he received it during that moment. And like, I don't know how old he'd be, but I loved the
Essentially teenagers and seniors.
Yes.
Like
the
chasm,
dynamic
right? Yeah.
of both, like all ages. And that has been on our heart. Like, that's actually what we prayed for the second day, was all the different age groups of our church, that they would be united, that we would be one, and all of the things. So cool like that, but also like just like people hearing from God for the first time, or getting pictures that they'd never gotten before, or having family who they have been estranged call and be in their life, and just randomly that week. So just really cool reconciliation things on our Encounter Sunday. We did have someone else, like, we don't know all the testimonies.
Yep.
It's only what people share, but
Yep.
the amount of things that people have shared just from us, like it's blowing my mind, because it's so simple, and we're not like putting on a big retreat weekend or something.
Yeah.
And then that's when we're seeing God move. We literally met and prayed like simply and God's moving. And I think a lot of it has to do with sort of like what you spoke on Sunday, is that God wants to move in our homes. He doesn't want it to just be like church on Sunday and like everyone, like, as it's like something you've heard forever, right? Is you shouldn't just serve God on Sundays, you should serve him during the week. But the amount of people who don't, just because we're so busy and we don't have time. Another thing is there was one son, I think he's like 12 or 13, and he went to the dentist. And he asked them to turn off the TV because he was doing a screen fast with his church for Jesus. And so, like, you know, like when you sit in the chair to get your teeth done or whatever, the TV's on. And so he asked them to turn it off. And I thought, like, even things like that, like our kids asking to, like, praying out loud together, or asking to pull one of those prayer topics out of the cup, like they are there, they were hearing from God on Sunday, like a lot of cool things. And I know this isn't like a normal like podcast, but I think we're excited because we're seeing God move, and I feel like that's fair to like share about.
There's so many things that like I've been taking from the past week. Number one is how mind-blowing it was that the amount of people who were willing to show themselves on a screen in the morning, as opposed to because so I would pop in like the last 20 minutes of the morning with my screen off, because I'm like packing lunches, getting ready for the door, but I wanted to hear what was going on and be a part of it. And I was blown away by the people who were like not even ready for the day, but I got my screen on so that I can see everybody and pray. Like, and then the lunchtime one, everybody's blacked out.
Yeah.
Nobody's showing
like,
themselves.
There was like 4 or 5 people in bathrobes on the morning call. Like, we just
God does not care what you look like. He cares that you show up.
And everyone else doesn't either.
Yeah, no. And that's the thing, right? Like,
we were talking about this earlier, is like you think everyone is thinking things about you, but everyone's so self-centered.
Caught up to themselves, yeah. And so that was really, you know, kind of mind-blowing to me with that. But also,
I feel like God has after doing the morning, I know, like, okay, so at the last podcast,
whatever you want to call it.
At the last podcast, Chris shared that he's been waking up at 5 a.m. and his life has changed, and we like threw jokes out like, how long will this last or whatever.
Yeah.
But
also how long will this last? And it's still here.
It's not still yet the time that Lindsay and I bet.
Yeah, I don't remember what I said.
Did you guys did you put down a date?
No, we said it on the podcast though.
No, we didn't.
Was that the podcast?
I don't think we said it on the podcast. I think we said that we did a date, but then that made him, then that idea put in him a fire that he's going to hold that the rest of the year.
Hey, whatever gets him there.
whatever gets him there. Yeah.
I don't need your help.
Anyway, but after doing the 6 to 7, one is I was so freaking tired the rest of the day. Like I thought I was working out before that week, and then like my body was like jello. Like it's so tired. It doesn't help that my kids don't sleep, and I woke up at 6 a.m. 5:45. Anyway, but I feel like there is something about the morning with Jesus, because like even the morning one was the most lively Zoom prayer time, and I think that there's something about starting your day. I think you
Can I say part of what my theory is on this?
Tell me.
I think that you have to be so intentional. There's an intentionality about the morning one. Afternoon and evening, you're just fitting it into your day. Mm-hmm. And so like if you want to be there at 6,
you're giving up sleep.
You're giving up sleep. There's a sacrifice being made.
Huge sacrifice.
You're having to reorganize. Like you're shifting your priorities to make sure this takes place, as opposed to at lunch. Well, it's my lunch. I'm just, log in and
it's like first fruits.
That's right. There's so many aspects to it. There's a reason Jesus got up in the dark in the morning to go meet with his heavenly Father. If for no other reason we look for a reason to do it that way, that's enough.
Yeah.
That's how Jesus did it.
Well, he left lots of times, but
no, but it says he did it all the time. Yeah. He would, as was his custom, get up early while it was still dark and go and meet with his heavenly Father. And I think we can look at that and go, man, if the creator of the universe, who wrapped himself in flesh, lowered himself down and walked a sinless life, still needed to craft his day like that, that should give us a clue on how we should be crafting our day.
And you can't really so even like the noontime, it's not the same place every time. You're all different places often, unless you work from home. Obviously, then that's like a bit different.
Right.
But like you might have like a lunch meeting, and it takes you off that like rhythm where every day you have to wake up.
And I think this comes back to kind of what I was talking about on Sunday. We need to start consecrating times and places that this is for the Lord. This is where I am when I meet with the Lord. This is the time when I meet with the Lord. Nothing infringes on this. This is set apart. This is holy for him. And if you look through the Old Testament and the New Testament, whenever you see that things were set apart or they were consecrated for the Lord, that's when God's manifest presence shows up. It's the consecration. It's not just that they're holy. It's not just that they've made the right sacrament or done the right liturgy. It's that when something is consecrated, that this alone is for the Lord. The most obvious example that comes to mind for me is the dedication of the temple. When Solomon, the temple, like this is something they've been waiting for a while. This is only for the Lord. It's for the grandeur for the Lord. He gives this big prayer, and the glory falls in such a cloud that the priests cannot even stand to do their duties. And for us to look at a week like this and go, we consecrated times that this is for the Lord. Not only that, but we met together in unity for one purpose. So there's also that. And then you can look at New Testament church. What does it say? They devoted themselves to prayer and fasting.
Yep.
And what happens? Yep. God shows up.
Spirit pours out.
Like absolutely. And so there's a whole bunch of things that we were doing. It's not a mathematical equation. It's not that. You can't force God's hand.
And we do that. Like,
we want to figure it out. Give me a pencil and a piece of paper. We're going to sort this out.
Okay, we can't stop doing this, or else God will stop moving. You know what I mean? Like that kind of thing.
It's still by his sovereignty. But there are things that we remove from our lives that remove the impediments, remove the idols, remove the uncleanness, that makes us way more available for God to do what he always wants to do.
Yep.
And it's not him not wanting to move. It's us realizing we're not as clean as we think we are. We're way more distracted than we've ever been at any point in society. And our priorities are like just they're upside down for the most part.
And we want to do it all in our own strength. Like I think,
And that's the other thing. We think that we can do it.
Yeah. Especially like as pastors, we think like, okay, if we just have like this really great service, then all these people will be transformed. But like, it's like we shared about less is more. I'm like, how did this happen? Just on a, you know what I mean? Just on a Zoom call, like nothing, like just each person taking their turn to pray.
Did you catch any of my message on Sunday? You were out of the room, right? Okay.
I wasn't out of the room. I was teaching the kids to hear from God.
No.
I just want to.
Yeah, she was skipping.
I was skipping. I was
She was doing ministry downstairs.
Chilling in the hallway.
Yeah, just out there sipping coffee, shooting the breeze
with the cool kids.
Yeah. So anyway, one of the things I talked about, and what you just said brought this to my mind, is I said many of us think that our life and ministry and the way we shine for the Lord is like a candle. We light a candle and it's bright, it's beautiful, but a candle only has so long. And often when we try and do things in our own strength, we'll do what the common phrase is, we burn the candle at both ends, right? Yeah. And so we're working hard, we're going to make this happen, we're going to burn bright. And then what does happen is what you just said. It leads to burnout. And candles, once they're finished, are replaced. They're broken, they're replaced. But that's not the imagery that the Lord uses for shining brightly in Scripture. It's a lamp filled with oil. And a lamp needs to be tended for. It needs to be continually filled. And it doesn't burn in its own strength. It burns because of the oil. Whereas we picture ourselves as candles, we don't have a good grasp of that. And so when we try and do things in our own strength, force things, the candle burns in its own strength. The lamp can only burn when it's filled. Right. And so for us as pastors, this is a lesson we must learn for those who come to church, who are part of the local body. They need to learn it in their own lives that they are lamps that need to continuously be filled. If we want to be a little bit on Sunday, the lamp that's burning beyond Sunday, right? Yeah. And so it's so important that we look at our lives like that in order for us to shine bright for the Lord, it cannot be done in our own strength. It will always lead to brokenness and being displaced from where you're supposed to be, as opposed to and not seeing God move. Right, as opposed to just leaning on the Holy Spirit's strength, because He is the symbol of the oil. The oil is always a symbol of the Holy Spirit, and when we're continuously filled, that lamp, we can burn. Yeah, we don't have to stop burning because He just keeps filling us. So anyway, I talked a bit about that in my message, but the burnout, like how often when we lean into our own strength, what we can do with our own giftings and talents, which we somehow have this justification in our mind. Well, the Lord gave them to me, so I must need to use them this way. Well, yes, He did give them to you, but He also gave them to you without repentance. So even if you're abusing them or doing it the wrong way or trying to force or manipulate, and when we get into that, we're talking about, I mentioned this earlier when we were talking, we're offering strange fire at that point. And the Holy Spirit wants nothing to do with that. He will not touch that. As a matter of fact, in the Old Testament, if He does touch it, it's going to burn you. As Aaron's sons learned. So like with this week, you can only point to God for all of the things. 100%. Like I just touched on the testimonies from this week because they're personal, so I can't share them all or whatever, but the things God is doing, like before service on Sunday morning in the prayer room, like I feel like we could have just like, if we had we could have leaned into that and we could have had like an amazing time. We also could have leaned into worship and just kept on going with worship. Like God was moving, but the testimonies from the week were ones that cannot be pointed to a message, cannot be pointed to a person. They are purely God moving in people's lives because of their abiding in Him. It was not leadership dependent. No. It was Holy Spirit dependent. Yeah. And that makes my heart so happy. In fact, it was in spite of leadership in some cases, because I was so dejected on Sunday morning because I had this word that I was preaching, burning in me. I knew it was for that morning. And then the snowstorm hits and I'm like, nobody's going to come to church because it's all about me and what I have to say. Right. And that's not actually what I was thinking. That's what's deeper and more buried that I have to wrestle with. But I was more than anything, I was like, man, Lord, I really feel like you've given me a word for your people. Yeah. And I want maximum results with maximum people. And the right people were sent to encourage me. And just kind of like, snap out of it.
Well, I got to use Chris's own words that he said to me on a Sunday where there was a low attendance.
I love is when my own words are used against me.
You love to have to eat your own words. It's the best.
Here, let me serve you a little of your own medicine.
You said to me once, but no, it was a great service. If you missed it, it's online and you can listen to it.
But it was again though, you can't even point to the service. It was great. It was beautiful. The altar time was beautiful. There was beautiful things about that, but it was the week. Even though we planned it, it was orchestrated by the Spirit, and people's hearts were ready because of what they did through the week. Whereas if every Sunday separating, if everyone's did that every week, then Sunday's not supposed to be a carrying day. That's not supposed to carry you. That's like a celebration. Like that's when you gather for the testimonies and you're like, this is what God has done. Like you read the New Testament and read Acts. It is a coming together and being like, this is what God has done. I look at Sunday as like a reset or an alignment, and not even in our own personal lives, but as the body, right? It's not a charging station for a battery. That's not how this works. This is where the body's at. This is what we're experiencing. This is what the Lord is saying to the body. This is the body worshiping together. All right, go out and be individuals and burn for Jesus, right? Because it's supposed to be so encouraging. And this Sunday, hearing what God has been doing, that is so encouraging to our hearts. And if there's somebody who feels like, they didn't experience that, but they can hear then, and that gives them hope that God is on the move, right? Well, when you hear a testimony and your faith rises, then the testimony is doing exactly what it's supposed to do. Yeah. The testimony isn't for the sake of information. No. It's like gossip. Well, I mean, but okay, so you can get into that. I know. Gossip is the demonic twist of the testimony, right? It is the anti-testimony. And so there's a wrong spirit attached to that. Yeah. And so it's where something can give life, this takes life. But anyway, that aside, but the testimony is given to build faith. And so whenever we hear testimony, when someone shares about life change or transformation or something that looked bleak, and now all of a sudden God's breathed life on it, that when we hear that, it should stir something in you. When it doesn't, be concerned. Yeah, because jealousy or callousness, or you're not. There's something hard, and you're not tender to receive that. Hardened heart, yeah. And so if you hear testimonies of clearly good things that God is doing and it's not moving you in any way, it's a good check. Time to go, Lord, what's going on? Yeah. What's going on in me? And if your initial instinct isn't to go, Lord, what's going on with me? Then really be concerned because what's happened is now cynicism has crept in. You might be a little jaded from too much time in and around the church, which is actually leading you into a religious spirit as opposed to a spirit that is tender to what the Spirit's doing. But I didn't really sense any of that this week. And as a matter of fact, we actively prayed against that even rising up amongst people. Yep. Not that we had seen it, but there's always that opportunity. But it was just such a good week. It was such a good week. And at no point did I ever go, man, I'm missing Instagram or anything like that. As a matter of fact, I flicked open Instagram once we had ended the thing. I scrolled for 2 minutes and I was like, my soul hurts. and I closed it. I was so jarred by what I was seeing and the inundation of, because a lot of my feed ends up being news. And I'm just like, oh, the world sucks so bad right now. Off. I can't, like, I was starting to feel like gross. And but during the week, it was like sitting with my family, having dinner, building Legos, you know.
We did so
playing
much
games.
We
Lego.
played so much Lego.
Yeah, like just
Probably more than our kids.
100%. We played it last night and they weren't even.
You know, they were
Around.
using their screens.
now, mind you, I did miss the screens on a couple car rides where my kids were not having it.
Yeah.
Where I was like, oh, I wish I had their tablets.
There were a couple mornings that we put the TV on because they were awake before 7 and I was still doing my Zoom prayer. But just for like the portion, but the rest, like they were so much more peaceful.
Oh, yeah.
And I am more peaceful. So like I have done no social media since the beginning of January. And the only thing I miss is I had a nightmare that my friend's mom died and it was on Facebook, but I didn't see the Facebook. And it's like a friend in my dream. The friend is someone who I don't talk like all of the time. So I didn't know because she shared it on Facebook. And so it was like a bit of a nightmare.
Okay. Sorry. I have a crazy dream to share with you when we're done. It's so stupid, but it's just funny. It was last night. I had it last night.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So anyway, other than like what I was saying was that earlier today, that like Facebook is like the news, is like you used to read in the news if someone died or if someone got engaged or married or something, you know what I mean? Like old news, newspaper or whatever. But now it's all through social media. So if you're not on it, like people they don't expect to like text everyone, right? Because they expect you to see it on like even family. Which I have beef about that, but that's not for right now. But so to find out on Facebook stuff and our
podcast is powered by those looks right there. Remember at the beginning I said happy birthday to the guy who gives us looks from behind the camera? He just gave one. When you said I have beef, he gave a look.
I was trying to think of
who she got beef with.
Yeah.
So many. Anyway, so that is the only thing that I find difficult. But as soon as I have opened it a few times because Instagram emails me and says, you have 8 messages from, and there was a few messages that people were actually like asking me a question about something. And so I was like, oh, I need to go on and message. But like I scroll for a second and I'm like, it's so much more peaceful not comparing yourself to other people, not seeing all the things that you should be doing to be a better parent, a better physical person, a better Christian. Like I feel like it's constantly in
we're not made to receive that much information.
Yeah, information and also just like pressure. Like I feel like the pressure is so real. And so like, yeah, I don't miss it. I would like that like someone went on my social media and were like, hey, here's the updates. This person had their baby and this is what their name is, so that I know some things.
We could hire somebody for that.
Just to comb your social media and be like, here's the need to know stuff.
Yeah. Like literally. Or like I wish like AI just did that for me. Because AI does a lot.
It could be an
like,
app. There's definitely an app that someone's going to invent.
Tell me like
if not, write it down. $1 million idea.
A write-up, like the write-up of the Zoom call is like tells you what people said and what need to know stuff or whatever. It's so cool, but like I want that for social media so that I don't have to go on.
This is a sick idea. We should look into this.
Yeah.
And then we'll do a press release.
Yeah, if you're listening to this,
pastor
this is trademarked.
invents new app and changes world. Some people still know how to connect to other people. That's an inside. That's an inside reference. That's an office reference.
Sure.
As soon as someone puts their hand like this and starts talking.
Okay, let me tell you my dream real quick. This has nothing to do with what we're talking about.
I didn't know if you were meaning after the
No,
podcast.
I'll tell you right now. Okay, so this is the dream. So all the spiritual super sleuths out there who are really good at dream interpretation, hit me up if you know what this means. It may mean nothing. It could very well be the peanut butter pudding I had before I went to bed last night. Protein pudding, just to be clear. So in the dream,
peanut butter pudding. I feel like that could be
Anyway. Could be something. So in the dream, all of a sudden I'm aware that I'm in a haircut place, like not a fancy one, like a Supercuts or something like that.
That's scary already.
Right. And so this person is cutting my hair and I'm like, they are doing a terrible job.
What hair? Okay.
and I have hair. You get your finger off that button. And so,
That was a close one.
So I have like my old like hair that I had before. It was much fuller in the dream. Wow.
I mean, no, old hair. Like your old hair now.
My old hairstyle.
I know. I'm just like picturing like
no,
your old
not
hair.
like no. Okay, not like 2005, Chris. I'm talking like
frosted tips.
I never had frosted tips. I'm talking like respectable, like 10, 12 years ago, Chris.
Okay.
And they're botching my haircut, and then all of a sudden, I go, wait a minute, I don't have hair, and I woke up. I don't think it's anything, but it could be something.
Hit us up in the comments.
Well, your hair is your crown, so
I don't have a
somebody's
crown.
coming for your crown.
Oof.
Somebody's botching your crown.
Crowns in heaven.
All right, so let's pray of protection.
Your hair is your glory, so
Yeah.
maybe my glory is being snipped, and then I'm like, wait a minute, I don't have any glory. It's
I
all
think your
for
glory
Jesus.
is in
It's all for Jesus.
your glory is in Turkey, I think.
My glory is in Turkey. Okay. Anyway, that was my dream, but
Cool.
yeah, I think, but in response to
Wait a second, I don't have hair.
yeah, I don't have hair. Wake up. I think one of the things of pushing away the social media is that our souls are at rest.
Yeah. No, for sure. Like
they're at rest.
anxiety's on an ultra low.
And I felt that, and that's what I felt when I flicked open like Instagram.
Yep.
I was like, the anxiety was just like immediately there.
Yeah.
Immediately there. And it's funny because your body is just trained to go back to it.
I know.
Multiple times over the week, I would be looking at a text message from my phone. I close the text message, and then my thumb would immediately tap Instagram.
Oh, I deleted it.
As it was loading,
ooh!
I'd be like, wait a minute, and I'd flick it off, and I wouldn't actually see anything. But just the reflex to do it, right?
Yeah, it's
it
crazy.
happened multiple
It takes a
times throughout the
while
week.
for your body to
And
helps when you don't have it.
I really do not miss it at all. I'm seriously contemplating like saying goodbye. But there are a couple things that I really do like to track on Instagram though.
Well, I just like our family lives far away, so like when they post pictures of their kids, they don't send them to us, they just post them, right? Like things like that, like you're unaware of. And that's how it used to be. Well, I guess like people would send like family email updates or something like that.
Yeah, I say bring back the printed photos. I sent a photo to you guys this week that was a printed photo that Ruth stumbled across, and I took I took a picture with my phone on a picture and then sent it to you guys, and then Lindsay quickly AI'd it and made it a whole thing. It will not appear anywhere on this podcast.
I would never.
But
Never.
it was a picture of Ruth and I when we were still dating.
Yeah.
Not even engaged.
Doing
yet,
something
still dating.
evil.
This is when Chris had hair.
Doing something evil. Now you have to say, because you can't just leave it like that.
It was 2013 Halloween.
Yeah, we were
They were dressed up
I
as
thought it was a church
gladiator
production.
and
a gladiator and
a woman.
spouse.
Lady gladiator.
Lady. No.
But she wasn't wearing
a lady of Rome.
Like
It was a lady of no. She was.
She wasn't. I know, but I'm just like when you think of Greek, whatever, people always just like wear a bed sheet or something like that. Like
well,
she was wearing like
they're
a
Roman,
nice dress.
not Greek.
That's like a toga party.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It wasn't a
that's
toga.
different.
No.
I just wanted to be clear that it wasn't. You're gonna have to put the picture up now.
Different country.
See, I wasn't even gonna go into this, and you led us into a thing where now it's got to be a thing. It's not a thing. It's
Chris didn't dress up for Halloween this year. If you wanted it,
the last time I dressed up for Halloween was that day.
night?
And that was because I wanted to impress this lady I was dating, and I was like, we'd only been dating like 4 months then.
4 months, a long time. Didn't you get engaged at like 6 months?
Yeah, but it wasn't 6 months yet.
Only 4 months.
You know what? There was an article that came out recently that they say 6 months is the perfect amount of time to
know that this is the person for
to
you.
know and get engaged. Yeah. And this isn't a secular one. It was actually a Christian, like psychologist or something like that. I don't remember where I saw it, but my wife might have actually sent it to me. I think she did, because she's like, see, we did it the right way. Yeah. Ruth sent it to me.
It depends how old you are, I think.
Like, well, yeah, I was 20.
16-year-old, and you tell your daughter that stat, and she's like, oh.
I will train my daughter better than that.
Yeah.
But no, we were
know.
26. We were both 26. No, I was 26. She was 27. And then we were both 27 when we got married. So that little corridor, right where we're the same age. But you guys aren't the same age either. Lindsay just moved up a little bit today, 35.
Yeah, we're only a year apart for the next 3 months. 2.5.
Yeah, 2.5.
2.5. And then I'm 2 years older again.
Man. I'm just a youngin'.
Older woman. That's how
Riz older than me.
I do.
I
feel like that's very common.
Yeah, it's probably because of maturity levels and like just lack.
Girls are more immature.
I feel like guys are they're attracted to
Mature.
women who seem like
Just
they're more
someone
put
who
together.
knows what's happening in
will,
life. Yeah.
Who will take care of you.
Oh no, they're attracted to their moms.
I didn't say it.
But it's true. Okay.
Oh man.
So, I want to go back to the consecrated thing because I have some questions. I wasn't in for your message, but so you said consecrated time. I totally understand, but like a consecrated place. When I think consecrated, I think only for the Lord. So like if I sit in my chair for my time with Jesus, does that mean I shouldn't sit in it the rest of the day?
No.
I know this is a dumb question, but at the same time, when you're talking,
someone's gonna be thinking, yeah. No, my consecrated place is my couch. So like I sit on my couch. I, roughhouse with my kids on the couch. So like it's more. But so
your couch is not in the couch that you sit on for that. It's not in where you like play video games or watch TV.
No, it's
more of
it's
like
upstairs, but like.
But not everyone has 2 living rooms.
Okay, well, my basement has a couch and my upstairs main living room. Okay, like
you have 2 couches.
2
crazy
dose.
Oh my goodness, you're rich.
No, what I mean by that is like consecrated. Like this is the place I have carved out because I don't have like an office that I can go to or something like that. If you have an office, great.
Yeah.
If you have a spare room in your house I know several people
who have like a prayer room in their house.
They have a prayer room in their house, like a spare bedroom. They have, that's where they go to pray. And so consecrating a place so that it's not sporadic. It doesn't feel like you're a nomad in your own house. Like this, it's comfortable. This is the place where God meets with you. And so whether it's a couch, whether it's I know some people who have a physical closet, like a walk-in closet that they go into and close their door, and they've got like a cushion on the ground they sit on. There's different ways that you can do it. Like not everybody has the same amount of space. Not everybody likes sitting or kneeling or laying on the ground. Like however it is that you want to do it. But a consecrated place, this is where I meet with the Lord. This is when I meet with the Lord. And when I say the when, it's that I'm not going to let anything infringe on this time. And that's what's hard about like lunchtime or late in the day. Because things get pushed. Other people infringe upon your time. Stuff comes up. Whereas first thing in the morning, like...
Only your kids really can infringe.
Only your kids. And even at 5, like, so when my alarm goes off at 4:55, like there's very few things that could actually infringe on that. Nobody's texting me unless something's gone way wrong that early in the morning. Like it's dedicated. There's no other reason for me to be awake then. And so it's then I don't open my phone other than to turn on Spotify when I want music. And I just open my Bible, I have my journal, and it's me and the Lord, and it's consecrated, it's set apart, and I've made that space. This is the space where I meet with you. And the time. And so I think when we consecrate, when we dedicate things that this is for that, the Lord honors that. Because now we've made room for him in our lives, not fitting him into our lives. We've carved out space and room to meet with him. And it's important that it's also done in secret. I mentioned during the message in the Sermon on the Mount in Matthew 6, Jesus makes 3 assumptions when he's talking to those who are listening. And just as like a catch up for those who don't know, in Matthew chapter 6, it's right in the middle. It's the second chapter in the 3-chapter block that is the Sermon on the Mount. And so all that Jesus is talking about in the Sermon on the Mount is the kingdom, people who are in the kingdom. If you're a part of the kingdom, this is what it looks like. And so he makes this assumption: when you give, when you pray, and when you fast. It's not if you give, if you pray, if you fast. It's when. So the assumption is you're doing it. He gives this caveat of what it's supposed to be like. It's supposed to be in secret. You give in secret, you pray in secret, you fast in secret. So that's why when we talk about setting times apart, we call it, this going to the secret place, because the Lord rewards what's done in private publicly. Mm-hmm. But if you do something publicly, your reward is the fact that people saw you do it publicly, mm-hmm. and that's your reward. Yeah. Whereas privately, God knows that your heart isn't about anybody seeing you do it.
It's about him.
Yeah, he knows it's not for social gain. It's not to be seen or puffed up with pride. It's just for him. Mm-hmm. And he loves that. Yeah. That's what he responds to. And so I think that's what I'm enjoying the most out of like shifting my prayer life, which used to start around like 8:30ish in the morning here at the office when I was alone, to 5 now. It's just for him. I have no other reason to be there. And I roll out of bed with my hoodie on and my slippers on, and I sit down and I go, Lord, I'm here. What's going on today? And then I begin to pray, and I kind of I have like a little like liturgy that I go through like in my own personal life of like worship and reflection and reading the word, and then communion of where I sit and I wait and I hear what he has to say and I ask questions, and it's been amazing. And oftentimes I feel when by the time 6:15 or 6:20 rolls around and the house is starting to wake up and think, I'm like, this wasn't enough time. Almost. And the crazy thought in my mind is, do I need to get up earlier?
Oh my gosh.
And I'm like, oh man, if I can't imagine my alarm going off at like 4:15 or
also,
4:30.
Also, I can't imagine that being good for your like body.
I don't know. I think you make room for what you love.
No, I
know, but like it just means you go to bed earlier. Like you make room for what you love. Like you will.
If I woke up at 5, already waking up at 6, I've been going to bed at like 8.
Holy moly! How much sleep do you need?
I need at least 9 hours.
She doesn't. The kids wake up all night, which is a problem.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know.
It's like you're not even getting a good night's sleep. But yeah, you would go to bed probably after dinner.
Yeah, like I wouldn't even see my family, so I'd make room for God and like not.
Is he your priority? Yeah. Is he your priority?
He should come first.
But
okay, so but here, in order to make the 5 o'clock shift, I have to be in like I'm falling asleep mode by 10. If that doesn't happen,
that is
good
not
luck. That's 7 hours.
That's not enough.
The average person only needs 7-8 hours of sleep.
I think that's wrong.
Go online and look it up.
Well, less than that.
I think that's wrong.
The science.
No, my mind always goes to the dollar store. Like every time. Like there's classic conversation that we had one time. But get the sleep you need.
What?
Just get whatever sleep you need. But the point is like.
No, I get your point. I'm just saying like. You need time for your family and your spouse too.
Yeah, I mean, for sure.
Yeah.
Like, and if I was
for you for 10, sure, fine. But like,
but if any earlier, you really start eating into other things, right?
Yeah.
Like,
but
10 o'clock is fine.
And I go to sleep at 8.
So we turn off the TV between 9 and 9:30, or the screens in our phones. And now that's the thing we've started in January. And then we'll read if we want to get to 10, right? Like
we've been shutting screens off at 6 with our kids.
Most of the time, like Ruth is starting to fall asleep before 9:30 as I'm reading. Like anyway, so like we're not like burning the midnight oil, like anyway. So
me neither.
I do not want to get up before 5. Let me just be on record for that. Like, I mean, my alarm goes off at 4:55, and by the time I stumble out of my bedroom, it's 5 after 5. If we're being crystal clear on everything.
Well, I set my alarm last week to be on Zoom for 6. I set my alarm for 5:45, and then I got out of bed at 5:50. I would go pee, turn on the hot water, turn on the Zoom. Danny's already there waiting. And then get my hot water and sit back down. at 6.
You know what's so funny though is I'm sure there's some seniors listening to this podcast and they're going, "That's rich." Like these guys, I'm up. My body wakes me up at like 10 to 4.
I know.
Like, and
they are longing for these days where they could sleep.
Yeah, and I guess as you get, apparently the science says as you get older, you need less and less sleep. But it's funny, like how we're like, oh, we can make these choices and do this and that, and because my grandparents, like when I was in my teens, I remember them telling me all the time, oh, woke up at 3:30 and couldn't get back to sleep, so I just got up and started my day, and I couldn't even
Karen is 4
You just went to bed at 3:30.
I couldn't even I couldn't even fathom that. And now there's been a couple times in the last 3 or 4 months where one of my kids either woke me up at like 4 or 4:30, and I knew I wasn't gonna fall asleep, so I was like, go to the gym, like I'm not gonna sleep, I might as well get that done and out of the way. So yeah, it's amazing.
I feel like we've gone a lot of directions.
No, we're having a good podcast. The moral of the story is you make room for what you love.
Yep.
And if you love the Lord, if you're making him the priority, I'm refusing to say priorities now. I want it to be, we have a singular priority in our life. Everything else just falls in line after that. But
if he's your priority, then he teaches you what your other priorities are.
But what I was saying is that the initial idea of priorities didn't come about till more recently. It was just, this is the priority of my life. And all these other things are subservient to that singular priority. And so
be fruitful and multiply.
Okay. I don't know I don't know how that fits.
So you said, yeah, because that's what he says.
No. Okay. Yes. Be fruitful and multiply. This is the command of the garden. Yes. Be fruitful and multiply. But the greatest calling, I think that we can have is to know him. And that's what my message was on Sunday. We're called to know him. If you get used by him, fantastic, but it's better to know him.
Yeah. What a God. What a God.
Yeah. Like I mentioned this on Sunday. I said, Pharaoh was used by God, but Moses knew God. Saul was used by God, but David knew God. And those are drastically different stories and endings for those people. You can be used by God and have no intimacy with him and never know him. And there's a lot of pastors that can say that. There's a lot of leaders in the church that can be used by God because of gifting or circumstance or scenario, but the calling isn't to be used by him. The calling is to know him. And so through this whole week, like, it's been just a beautiful time of knowing him. And when we know him, oh man, the stuff he does in our lives, it's amazing.
Yeah.
We don't know him. We don't need to know him for his hand. We know him because we want to know him, but his hand, he's a good father. He just lavishes on his children, right? So it's been a really good week, and I'm excited to see what's in store, because it has seemed to me like the beginning of something. It hasn't felt like the culmination of something. It feels like you said, first fruits or a launching pad of where we're going as a church, and what God's been doing in the leadership, in those who make decisions, or the board or whatever, but also in the lives of our people. It's been so beautiful to see and hear stories and testimonies. And
I want to say, if you weren't a part of if you're not part of our church at all and you're listening, but also if you're part of our church, but you were like, this isn't the time I'm able to do this, and you didn't participate last week, and you're hearing these testimonies, and like Chris said, you're feeling a bit like left out, and it's not too late. Like, you can push away the things that have become idols in your life or that have consumed your time, and you can create that space, and you can be faithful and steady with God and in his presence, and having that consecrated time and space with him, and you will see the fruit of that. And it's not something that is just for us and for now, and it was last week and you missed it. This is something that you can do now and start and see the fruit. Like, the fruit will come there's always fruit when
you can't help if you are connected to the vine.
Yeah.
Like if you are connected to the vine, you can't help but bear fruit. It will be in your nature.
Yeah. So I just wanted to encourage, like, you haven't missed it.
No, and the beautiful thing is, until you breathe your last, there is always opportunity for new and deeper things in the Lord. Always.
Forever.
It's always there. My favorite thing about the story of the prodigal son, like there's so many aspects to that story. My favorite thing is that the father's eyes were scanning the horizon looking for his son. And not that we're talking about, prodigals come back to Jesus, but that Jesus tells that parable to say, God is always looking for the opportunity to reconnect. Always. He's just waiting. And he's waiting on us.
Yeah.
We are the biggest obstacle.
He is there. He is speaking, but often we're too busy to hear what he's saying. And so it takes taking time. And I kept hearing over this week was wait. Like, we have lost the gift of waiting. Not gift, but like ability to wait, especially for our kids, but us too, is just like, we don't know how to wait on him. And when you do, it's like all of these, you're like, oh my gosh, God told me this, God told me that, God made me read this scripture and it was incredible. Then this happened. And you're also like, your eyes are open. Like when you start your day with Jesus too, your eyes are open throughout the day to see what he has done, is doing, who to communicate with, like who to encourage. You are out of like, my day is not about me, my day is about God.
Yep. To your point about always feeling rushed, is that true intimacy doesn't happen at speed. It happens at a slow walking pace. Like, you can't, no healthy marriage does everything just like quickly talking to each other and we're just trying to get through this really quickly so that I can check a box and then it's done. No, intimacy happens slowly in relaxed conversation and waiting. You can't rush that. And so, like, just as it is in earthly relationships, it is in our heavenly relationship with our Father, that waiting is so, so important. And when we wait, sometimes it'll take a time for us to learn how to push the distractions out of our mind. That's a learned habit. Like, to encourage those who just start with like, I'm going to quietly wait and sit in silence and solitude. Part of that discipline is learning to push out the stuff, the distractions, the noise, the list, all of that stuff. That is a part of that discipline. And it will help if outside of your times of prayer and outside of the times that you're actively already trying to eliminate distractions. There's a quote that says, "We have been distracting ourselves into oblivion." And it's just, we fill our lives with things to distract us from dealing with the things that really need to be dealt with.
Or emotions.
Yeah, and that stuff comes up in quiet and in stillness before the Lord, because he wants to deal with that. And allows us
to peel.
Yeah, that's how he works through us in those moments. But you got to make the space. You got to consecrate a space. You got to consecrate a time and say, this is for you, Lord. This is for you.
So if you are a sleeper like me.
Oh man, if I could
just
get 9 hours.
know that mornings.
If I could get 9 hours a night.
There's something about them to spend your morning with Jesus, and I'm going to try real hard to be better, but it will be difficult.
It is difficult.
And it will be difficult for Lindsay.
I was sharing, like, being super transparent. I was sharing with Justine and Lindsay this morning before we hopped on the podcast. Like, my goal every morning is to be up at 5. But last night, my son woke us up in the dead of night. I had to get him back to bed. And at 2:30 or 2:45, I thought to myself, there's no way I'm falling back to sleep. And sure enough, it took me an hour to fall back to sleep. And then I thought I hit snooze on my alarm. I did not. I hit off, and then I woke up at, like, it was like 5:35 or 5:40. But I got up, rushed, went and started my morning in prayer and stuff like that. But not every day is perfect.
And it is hard when you have young kids who wake up.
The Lord knows. He's fine. Like a day does not stop intimacy. A week and a month, that'll put a chokehold on it. But
it makes it not so good.
Right, because intimacy comes from sustained, like, attention, right? Yeah. That's what intimacy is. It's continual sustained attention on somebody or something.
But also, God is like it's like, I'm thankful that God is also like a friend, that if you have left him for a significant amount of time, like it's like that good friend that when you see them, it's like we never had any time pass, right? Like,
and if you do feel something, it's typically our own baggage that we're carrying. It's some type of shame that we need to let go of, because God's not there going,
yeah, you were too long, so I'm not going to bless you anymore. Like, that's not God. Yeah. I think it's hard to, it's like there's like a dual, like God is a good God, whether it's been months or whatever. But if you are meeting him every day, there is benefit to that. And
oh, for sure.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
I do. I agree. Well, we can probably wrap it up there.
Okay.
Like, it's been this week was just like, you know what, let's talk about what God's been doing lately, what we've been sensing and experiencing. And
he's super faithful.
Yep.
I always love to say, like when I was going through a difficult time in 2018, my thing was like, God is kind, he is faithful, he is good. Kind and good and faithful, kind and good and faithful. Because sometimes the enemy really gets in our head that he's not, or that he's not kind, or that he has like responds in that way of like, where have you been? Or you don't have faith in me, like a grumpy grandpa. And he's not. He's a kind and good and faithful father. And so meet with him.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. He desires to meet with you. He wants to know you.
Yep.
And he wants you to know him. So just do it.
Do it.
Do it.
Do it, do it, do it. All right, have a amazing week, and we will see you next time on Squabbling Saints. Follow us on Instagram, and subscribe on YouTube, and listen wherever you like to. Send to a friend if you want. Have a great... I already said that.
Yeah. Happy birthday, Lindsay.
Peace
Thanks.
out.
All right. Bye.